Guys, the question at the top of the key tonight on questions asked number 78, the question at the top of the key tonight is, what do I put for repair pricing when I have no repairs to annotate in the report? All right, so welcome guys. For those of you who don't know me, I am Angela Cooper. I am a business coach. I help real estate agents increase their income while they're waiting on buyers and sellers to close. As you guys know, waiting 30 days to get paid can sometimes be a struggle. So while you guys are trying to wait on your closing or build your pipeline, we are using this platform, Broker Price Opinions, in order to have a daily, weekly, and monthly income while we're waiting, okay? All right, so if you are visiting us on the Facebook page, go ahead and like the page if you haven't done so already. If you are watching from YouTube, guys, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. I would love to have a new subscriber on YouTube every day if I could. Hashtag replay if you're visiting after the fact. And guys, if you are brand new to real estate, meaning you just got your license in the last 6 months, or you might be new to Broker Price Opinions. You may have been a realtor for 5 or 10 years and you've never done a Broker Price Opinion before. Go ahead and drop a 1 in the comment area so we will be sure to get you the free webinar on the power of BPOs, okay? All right, so the question at the top of the key tonight, guys, what do I put for the repaired value if I don't have any repairs to annotate in my report? In this instance, guys, the only time that you're going to increase your value or decrease your value with the repairs is if you actually have line item repairs to put in your report. If you don't have any line item repairs, you didn't see anything, not even paint on the outside, okay? You know, or how about the gutter hanging? Not even a gutter hanging, okay? So you have an average property that needs no repairs. So now in this case, you're going to take your 90-day as-is value and just shift it over to your repair value because it's the same value, okay? When you don't have any repairs, there's no need for you to put a repair value. Now, some of these quality control specialists will bounce back and give you a mark for not having a repair in your condition report, but literally you don't have to have a repair. You may have went out there and they'll say something like, well, according to what we see in the picture, it looks like it needs painting, okay? You can put a repair value if they ask you, but if not, you don't have to put a repair value ever, okay? If you have an average property, it looks good, it doesn't look like anything needs to be done, you don't see any cracked bricks or siding hanging off, or like I say, any, what do you call those gutters hanging down? You don't have any repairs. You just give them the same price as you did your 90 to 120 day pricing. It's the same thing. Even with your repaired list, okay? You know, on your 90 to 120 day list price, you may have bumped the value up maybe $2,000 or $3,000. You just carry that value right on over to repair because it's going to be equal to your as-is price, okay? Don't sweat the small stuff. You cannot overthink the BPOs, okay? And you certainly can't get in the mind of a quality control specialist. You cannot read minds. You only read reports, okay? I know, that's what I used to tell them. Look, why you keep sending me this report back? I can't read your mind. Just call me and tell me what it is you want me to do, and we can get this done and be done with that, you know? Sometimes you have to do that, guys. If you keep getting kickbacks from quality control and you just really can't figure out what they're asking you for, just pick up the phone and call or email, probably get through quicker if you email and ask them what exactly do they want. But no, you do not have to report a repair price if there's no repairs needed on your property. Okay, question number 2. Can I use a comp if it's more than 20% of the market value? Okay, can I use a comp if it's more than 20% of the market value? And there was no real deep, in-depth explanation of this or how much over market value it was. I don't know. But to answer this question, listen, yes, you can use a comp that's slightly over 20%, but definitely try not to go over 30%. If you're using a comp that's more than 50% of your market value bracket, like say for example, you have pricing is at 220 to 289, and you trying to use the comp down there at the bottom that's sold for 350. You can't do that. Do not do it, okay? And certainly don't use one for 400. If you have to go more than 40 or 50% over your bracket, that's not a good comp, okay? That's just a comp that's called an outlier. It just stands out like a sore thumb. And yeah, you might want to give your subject that pricing, but if you don't have, if none of your comps bracket that larger amount, you shouldn't use it. I'm not talking about your list comps. I'm talking about your sold comps, okay? Your list comps can say anything, because you know, there's some realtors out there that like to really list high because, you know, they want the higher pay on the percentage. But you should not list higher than your market is selling for. Maybe slightly, but not list $50,000 over what your market is selling for. That's craziness. Don't do that. So you can't even really put a lot of weight on your list comps that are listed higher than your fair market value bracket. So say for example, your fair market value bracket is 220 to 280, and you have maybe 3 list comps. You know, you have something like you may have something like 250, 280, and 350. Okay, now you can use it. You don't want to, but if you can find something better, find something better. But if you have to use a list comp, you can use it, but just also make sure that it doesn't go like more than 50%. Okay? Not more than 50%. That's too much. You just need to throw that on out, because some of your list comps can be outliers too. But you can explain to your quality control specialist that, you know, the property is listed high. They understand that the property is listed high, but what they don't understand is this property one comp so high because it's totally remodeled, it's renovated, and it has all of this high-end stuff added to it. Okay, well, that's not the comp you need to pick when you're talking about your sold. You need to bracket a sale, and you can't bracket a sale if you're using a comp that's more than 50% of what your other comps are selling for. Okay? I know. Trust me, I know some companies will let you do that. Y'all already know who I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to even call names tonight. But it's not right. It's not right for them to even ask you to do that. And also, it's not right for you to bracket a square footage that's more than 20% or 25% of your square footage. So if you have 1,000 square feet, you should not be using 2,000 square feet comparables. You should not be doing that. 1,000 square feet, you should go backwards 2 and forwards 2. 1,200 and 800 is what you should use. That's 20%, okay? You should never use a comp that's 1,700 square feet comparing it with your subject that's 1,000 square feet just because it's next door. Don't do that. And if a quality control specialist asks you why you didn't use that comp, because it is out of variance with your subject. You just can't do it. I wouldn't use it. All right, so y'all got that? 20% is the ultimate. That's the sweet spot when it comes to bracketing your subject and your comps. No matter if it's the bedroom count, if it's the square footage, it doesn't matter if it's the lot size, it doesn't matter. You should have that sweet spot, 20%. And a lot of times, now if you go way over on your lot size, that's different because you can actually do an adjustment for that. But for pricing, you can't do that. Okay? I know I'm gonna get off of that subject. Question number 3, guys. Before we go to question number 3, if you are visiting us here on Facebook, go ahead and like the page. If you're chiming in from YouTube, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, guys. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers, actually, before New Year's Day. That would be nice. But, you know, it probably ain't going to happen. But in the first quarter of 2022 on YouTube, we want to be at 1,000 subscribers. So make sure you share the YouTube page with your other realtor friends, okay? All right, if you're brand new to BPOs or brand new to real estate and you're looking for a way to make some extra money, go ahead and drop a 1 in the comment area. And guys, if you are visiting here or watching after the fact, go ahead and hashtag replay, okay? Hashtag replay. Let me know where you're chiming in from tonight. All right, question number 3. I have a 1-story subject, but I just cannot find 1 story in the drop down. Like there's nothing in the style that describes my 1-story subject. You know, so here's the deal. You're going to either have, if you don't have 1 story, you're going to have bungalow, ranch, and I think it's 1 more. I can't call it right now. But you can use any of that, okay? Those are 1-story properties. You just can't use, you know, the 2-story or 2-unit or duplex or anything like that. You should have a ranch or a bungalow or a flat, okay? Something that's synonymous with a 1-story. Okay, use that. All right. Yeah, because they won't give you. They may not have it single story. They sometimes they use it that single story as well. You can use that, but I don't know too many of them that don't have something that will work for your 1-story. Most of the time, it's either ranch, Rambler Ranch, or bungalow, okay? So any of those are resembling your 1-story subject. You can use any of that, okay? All right. Question number 4, and yeah, we're moving along tonight. Do we have any questions out there? Anybody have any questions that they want to ask tonight live? Do we have anyone out there that have any questions you want to ask live? Guys, listen, if you are coming to the Facebook group, Broker Price Opinions, the Power of BPO's group, make sure you're answering the questions. If you don't answer the questions, I can't verify whether or not you are legitimately a realtor, an active realtor. You have to have an active real estate license in order to do broker price opinions. So if you don't answer the questions, guess what? You can't get in the group. And another thing, if you can't follow the instructions on getting in the group, you probably gonna miss out on BPOs because they have a lot of instructions on broker price opinions on your reports. Is that right, Coy? Lots of instructions. So you have to read your instructions if you intend to do the report right. And if you're not reading the instructions, it doesn't matter if you was invited by somebody that's already in the group. They already answered the questions. So if they tell you to, or suggest that you answer the questions in order to get in the group, guys, you need to answer those questions, because I'm pretty sure I turned away 10 people this week. They did not get in the group because they didn't answer the questions. Okay. Coy says, yeah, I don't see why not. Can a Cape Cod with the unfurnished second floor work? I would think so, yeah. Because if you have a beach house that have the bottom floor where they have like the garage and the laundry room or whatever on the bottom street level floor, their first floor is actually one up. So yeah, I don't see why you couldn't use that. As long as the second floor is not in use, I would say, yeah, I would use that. All right, so quality control, this is question number 4. Quality control gave me 5 additional comps, and they asked me, why didn't I use them? And they said, please investigate and use these comps if you can use them. Do I have to use all 5 of them? So I've had this question a couple of times. Don't panic when you get, don't panic when you get a quality control request. That's what it is. That's why I got this question twice this week. So yes, they're asking you to investigate and see if you can use those comps, because in their opinion, those comps are much better than some of the comps that you use. Maybe you use comps that was a mile and 0.10 or 1.25 miles away, and the comps that they're suggesting to you maybe a half a mile away, and you didn't pick them up for some reason, okay? Then, yes, I would say go ahead and investigate each one of those listings that they gave you. I'm saying listings, but I mean sold comps. Sometimes they're sold and list comps. If it's 5, most likely there are list comps and sold comps, okay? So go ahead and investigate and look at them and figure out, can I use this? Because, technically they might be better comps, especially if they're closer and in the same subdivision as your subject. You don't want to, distance plays a big part in some of these companies. They are really strict about distance. They don't want you going out a mile when you have 3 or 4 comps that are in the same subdivision, a half a mile or less than a mile, okay? So, yes, you have to look at them. Unfortunately, you do have to look at them, okay? But do you have to use all of them? Absolutely not. Because here's one thing about that. Sometimes they might even give you a single story that they call a single story, but it could be a manufactured home. And they don't really know. They just pull the MLS number, or they pull that address because they looking at a map and they see that it's 0.3 miles away from your subject. But in reality, it might even be a duplex, and your subject may be a 1-story, a single family residence. You can't use that, okay? So you have to bounce back and say, quality control response. Listing number 1 that you gave me, or sold comp number 1 that you gave me is, it's a duplex. My subject is a single family residence. Number 2 is more than 25% in square footage. It definitely will not work in this situation, okay? Even though it's closer, it exceeds 25 to 30% on the square feet, meaning my square feet is 1,000. The one you gave me is 1,800. I'm not using that, okay? So you just have to explain to them why you're not using it. Sometimes they'll even give you some that are sold more than 12 months ago. I don't care if it's 13 months. You can't use it, okay? It has to be within 12 months. Not talking about a historical BPO now. I'm talking about a regular BPO, okay? If they give you something and tell you to look at it and it's sold for 11 months ago, you need to look at that, especially if it's closer in your distance, like a block or two away from your subject. Everything fits except the distance. You need to use that, even though it's 11 months old. You see? So, yes, you have to investigate all 5, but no, you don't have to use all 5. And here's another thing. If I have 2 of his that he gave me that are just equally comparable to 2 of mine that I already have in there, I'm not switching mine out and using his just because he suggested it, okay? But I'm going to tell him why. I'm going to say, you gave me MLS number ABC. It's equal to my soul comp number 2. Why would I want to use yours when I found one both of them are equally as good? So I prefer to stick with the one I already have. Because one thing I know for sure, they're not going to come and do your report over for you. You got to research all of that stuff all over again. You see? So, and you have to erase everything you got and put in everything they want you to put in. But if you have 2 that are just as good as the one they gave you, then no, don't switch. But just tell them why you don't want to switch, okay? All right, so that wraps it up for tonight on questions asked number 78. Guys, do you all have anything pressing that you want to ask me about your BPOs for tonight? Anything? Even if you're working on one already and you have a question about it. All right, I know it's a delayed reaction. When you join us tonight, guys, if you're joining after the fact, go ahead and hashtag replay or let us know where you're signing in from too. I see someone is here today from my hometown, Kansas City. All right. All right, guys. So you guys have an amazing week. Let's go get this money. This is the last week before Christmas, okay? But we got all the after Christmas sales coming up too. I might have a surprise for y'all for after Christmas, okay? All right, so let's go get this money. You all have an amazing week, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye now.